Red Bull and Max Verstappen are having an incredible 2022 Formula One season. They are undoubtedly the best on the grid. Verstappen's performance this season has sparked reactions from everyone in the F1 world, including the 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton. So, what does Lewis Hamilton think of Verstappen's performance this season? Stay tuned to find out. At the Japanese Grand Prix, Max Verstappen clinched his second Formula One Drivers' Championship. Verstappen has won each of his F1 titles under different circumstances. First, in the 2021 now infamous struggle with Lewis Hamilton, and then in a dominant fashion in 2022, where nobody really troubled him in the championship aside for the first 5 or 6 races in which Ferrari were blazing hot. Ferrari have a very fast car, but its strength is in the corners. Given that cars spend a greater proportion of their time in the turns, this advantage is reflected more clearly in their lap time. According to the statistics of the qualifying races, Ferrari has almost twice as many pole positions than Red Bull. Red Bull, on the other hand, has dominated the straight line speed because Mercedes were on par with or even ahead of him in terms of straight line speed in 2021. Verstappen had to be more aggressive in the corners and on the first laps of the race. This year, Verstappen has made significant adjustments to his driving style in order to focus on the most advantageous aspects of the car. This year, Verstappen often holds back and waits for the right moment to make his move, rather than being overly aggressive in the corners or off the start line. Because of his significantly improved straight line speed, combined with the benefits of slipstream and, on many occasions, DRS, Verstappen has been much more patient. He has adapted his driving technique to correspond with the car's capabilities. The Verstappen of 2022 knows when to take risks and when to pull off one of those magical overtakes, and the result has been an outstanding performance throughout the season. So, how has Hamilton reacted to Verstappen's performance this year? Let's find out. Before we talk about Hamilton's comment about Max, I know you're enjoying this video, so for you to not miss out on my other amazing videos, hit the subscription button and give this video a thumbs up. It's that easy. Thanks for doing that. Let's move on. Hamilton's Mercedes struggled with porpoising and performance concerns, which meant that he was never in the title chase. As a result, Max Verstappen of Red Bull was able to cruise to victory at the F1 Japanese Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton briefly congratulated Max Verstappen, but set the tone for their fierce rivalry to resume next season. Hamilton said, "Congrats to Max. For us, we know what the problems are with this car. I believe that we, as a team, have not gone from world champions to not being able to build a good car. I have no doubts we will have a better car next year. Whether we rectify every issue that we face this year, we'll find out when we get there." The rivalry that peaked at the controversial 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix may have a new chapter added in 2023 with redesigned cars. Lewis Hamilton's performance in the French Grand Prix, where he finished in second place, was his best of the season. However, Hamilton was surprised by the pace advantage that Red Bull displayed throughout the race. The Mercedes driver started from the 4th position on the grid, but he was able to pass Red Bull's Sergio Perez at the beginning of the race. He then took advantage of Charles Leclerc's crash to move up to the 2nd position. The gap between himself and Verstappen closed under the safety car. But as the race resumed, it became clear that Hamilton would not have the pace to challenge the Red Bull driver for the lead. Hamilton expressed his astonishment after the race when asked about the top speeds achieved by the Red Bull down the main straights. He said, "I was trying to keep up with Max, but he's just so fast." But Hamilton doesn't believe it was because of Verstappen's driving abilities. The Briton praised Red Bull as a team and their chief designer Adrian Newey, crediting the Dutchman's success to them. At a team media conference held prior to the 2022 Dutch Grand Prix, Hamilton was asked to remark on Verstappen's performance and driving. In an effort to avoid complimenting the new world champion, the Briton instead praised Red Bull as a team and their chief designer Adrian Newey, crediting the Dutchman's success to them. Hamilton said, "I'm more impressed with Adrian Newey and his team. I think the team is a great team. They've generally had really great cars for some time. I think they used to have a really high ride height and had more drag than before. They have realized, they've experienced this year, that their engine actually isn't slower than the others and that they had a lot more drag in the previous years. They've done a fantastic job, and anything I would have said in the past about the team, I didn't mean it in a negative way." After that, he went on to apologize for his past comments, in which he had referred to the Red Bull team as being run by a drink company and that they had no business with motorsport racing. Lewis Hamilton stated that the Milton Keynes-based squad had proved to many critics, including him, with their success. The 7-time world champion suggested that Newey's thesis on ground effect cars was one of the reasons why Red Bull has been able to design a car that is superior to its competitors. Also, the British driver believes that Max Verstappen is comfortable with the car and rarely has issues with bouncing, both of which can be directly attributed to the manner in which Red Bull's top engineer designed the cars. Hamilton said they have a great aero balance. They've got great ride quality. He, Verstappen, doesn't ever have any problems with bumps. When you have a stable platform like that, they had a great car last year as well. Adrian Newey doesn't generally build bad cars. He has built amazing cars over the years. My first championship car was an evolution of one of his cars. I know he did his thesis on ground effect floors, so it is no surprise. He is one of the only ones who draws by hand. His understanding has been an advantage to them, and they have done a great job. The Mercedes driver has been having issues with his own vehicle, and he also disclosed that the team had shifted its focus to the development of the 2023 model. Overall, Lewis Hamilton believes that Red Bull and the design knowledge have executed the new regulations perfectly, which is reflected in their domination in the battle for the 2022 title. But does Hamilton have a point? Has Verstappen only been lucky to be in a better car this season? Verstappen does not believe that the Red Bull car he is driving is the only reason for his superior performance so far this season. Although Verstappen acknowledged that the performance of his car was a super important factor in his success this season, he insisted that the most important factor was still the driver's ability. The new world champion went on to compliment Hamilton's qualities, citing them as a factor in many of his 7 championship victories. Speaking in the post-race press conference, Verstappen said, "A lot of that is down to the team, of course, as also how Lewis won his championships. That's how it goes in Formula 1. Your car is super important, but I think when you're an exceptional driver, like of course Lewis is as well, you make a difference over your teammate at the time, because in very crucial races as well. For example, for me, I think one that stood out as well for him was Turkey, when it was very slippery, just staying calm, not making mistakes. You end up winning a race like that, and that's what, at the end of the day, what good drivers do." Verstappen's teammate, Perez, is of the opinion that Verstappen's dominance is down to the driver, not the car, as he does not believe that the RB18 has been the clearly dominant machinery at any stage of the season. After the Japanese Grand Prix, Perez said, "Well, I think Max has had an incredible season. A lot of respect for him. I've said it before, I don't feel like Red Bull have had a dominant car to have won the championship the way Max won it, so I think he definitely pulled a gear or two compared to anyone else." While Perez's best performances saw him at least keep Verstappen on his toes, Verstappen has been operating on a consistently high level throughout the campaign, punishing Ferrari for their mistakes and putting them in his pocket on a regular basis as the season rolled on. Hamilton believes Verstappen's success this season is dependent only on the RB18. On the other hand, Perez believes Verstappen is the one responsible for transforming the title-contending RB18 into a dominant machine. Verstappen has been providing excellent feedback to the engineering team, which has helped them unlock the vehicle's performance. He has also offered suggestions on how the car should be improved to suit his preferences better. It takes a level of skill to be able to do that. A fast car needs a good driver behind its wheel. Now over to you. What do you think has been the reason for Verstappen's dominance this season? Red Bull's car, or Verstappen's driving expertise? Let me know in the comments section below. That will be all for today's video. Thanks for staying tuned. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and notification bell so that you can always get to watch more amazing videos like this. See you in the next video.